Hey guys, welcome to Carnivorous Plants Hub. Today I'm really excited to bring you an update on one of my favorite carnivorous plants that I own. Both of these kind of as a package deal. I really like these, but these are my Cephalotus Follicularis, and I'm really excited to bring you this update because it's been kind of a long time. I think it's been about 3 months since I've updated you on these plants, and they've just been so much fun to grow. They've been really simple despite what you hear from most people. And I really like these. Venus flytraps will always hold a special place in my heart. They'll always be my favorite carnivorous plant, but these are really kind of creeping in there. I really love these. So I'm excited to kind of show these to you a little bit. Some of my new growth and kind of what they've been doing. But real quick, before I do that, thank you so much for being here. I just want to let you know that I appreciate you so much for watching this video. Subscribing to my channel, liking this video are things that you can do to help me out. I'm trying so hard to start my own carnivorous plant nursery here soon. Also trying to get my own soil, carnivorous plant substrate up and going. I've hit a few roadblocks with that, but that's still coming. It's in the works, and your support in watching these videos, subscribing to my channel, liking them, all that stuff is so helpful to me. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for supporting my dream. I really appreciate it. But let me go ahead and show you real quick, now that you've seen these a little bit, let me show you what it looked like about 3 months ago. Okay, now that you've seen what they look like 3 months ago, you can see just how much they've grown. I'm going to start with this one here. This one only had 2 little traps on it, 2 little pitchers. I'm sorry, not traps, but pitchers. And now you can see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At a quick count there, maybe 9, 10 back here. So this thing is just growing like crazy. You can see these little white fuzz balls back there. That's new growth coming in. So this one here has absolutely just done fantastic. It's such a beautiful little plant. Look at these little pitchers. They have that characteristic M back there kind of on the hood. They got the really nice purple around the top of the pitcher. This one here is one that hasn't opened yet. It's still kind of new, but you can see they kind of start off as this green color, and then as they mature and grow, they turn into this darker maroon color, and they're just really beautiful. I absolutely love them. I keep these in my kitchen. In the windowsill. I kind of move them back and forth between my office and the kitchen so I can get them a little more light. One of the coolest things about these is that they actually have been 100% grown on a windowsill. I double checked, triple checked with the guy that I bought them from just to make sure that that was something that was accurate, that that's how he had always grown them, and he confirmed over and over that he's always grown them that way. He's been growing them for 10 years. I always understood these to be a more difficult type plant to grow, so when I found out that he grew them completely on the windowsill, I was pretty shocked. But you can see for yourself here that these ones are growing like crazy. They're doing really well. These do not go outside. The only time I take these outside is to take a picture for my thumbnail. Other than that, these do not go outside at all. This is 100% indoor grown, and they are not under grow lights ever. 100% natural indoor sun through windowsill. So like Venus flytraps won't survive that. A lot of other carnivorous plants won't survive that. I would have never guessed in a million years that these plants would survive that, but they have just really thrived under those conditions. Now let's take a look at this one. This one is kind of a mess, I'm not gonna lie, but it's unbelievable how much new growth this one has on us. So let's go ahead and get in here and see, so you can see how much new growth there is here. But you can see how these little white, if you look back there, you see those little white poof balls. They eventually turn into these pitchers right here. So that's kind of what they start off and what they look like. They grow out of these leaves, and then they eventually turn into these beautiful little pitchers, and then they grow and they get to be as big as these normal sized pitchers here. So I'm just gonna move this one around here so you guys can see just how crazy this one is growing. Look at that. Look at all of them in there. Look at all these brand new beautiful little green pitchers that are growing in there. Right there, keep turning it. You can see basically at every turn here, there's just more new growth. It is all in there. So one thing that's really important that I have found out with these, and I didn't even realize all this new growth was in here until I started trimming some of these dead pitchers off. I think it's really important to trim off the older dead pitchers to give the rest of your plant some light so they can get some light for this new growth. I'm actually, see these ones right here are really probably close for me to be trimming those off. because I almost guarantee once I trim them off, if you look back there, let me see if I can zoom in back here. See the new, I don't know if that's going to zoom for you, but if you look back there, you can see there's some new growth. And that doesn't really see the light of day unless you trim off some of these older pictures. So it's kind of hard to trim these off sometimes, but I think the best thing you can do is to kind of keep these really pruned out, so that you make sure that all this new growth, see how this new growth is tucked in back here? That new growth isn't going to see any light unless some of these older dead pictures kind of get out of here. So once they start to get to an older dried out state, I think it is really important, especially if they're in a smaller planter like this, to make sure and see there was like 2 or 3 right here actually, and then I removed them and all of a sudden boom, look at all these brand new green beautiful ones starting to pop out. So I do think it's really important to prune these and make sure and remove the dead ones. This one is obviously in really big need of being repotted, and I'm going to do that here probably in January, February. Once we're kind of at the end of, these don't go through dormancy, but they do go through a period where they start to slow down. They're going to get a little more light. It's going to be a little cooler. So it's not like a full out dormancy period, but the growth really starts to slow down in the deep winter. And that's when you're best off planting these, is when that growth really slows down. But it's just really cool seeing all this new growth. Even now that we're getting close to November, this thing is still just producing like crazy. It's just growing picture after picture after picture. So, but yeah, I just really wanted to show you this one. These plants have been just incredible. They've been super easy to grow because they don't require a ton of water. I've been giving them a little more water than I was at first. I had somebody in my comments kind of let me in on some information, and apparently what you want to do is when you're watering them, you want to make sure that these lids are open. If your lids aren't open, that means they're not getting enough water. So that's kind of what I've been using as an indicator. If I see these lids start to go down a little bit, I know I need to give them a little more water. These things are really susceptible to crown rot. So it is kind of that balancing act of knowing how much water to give them, when to water them, when not to water them. But so far I haven't had anything like that happen. I'm guessing these probably get watered with, I don't know, a ½ an inch of water every 3 days maybe. And so far that's been really kind of the secret recipe to keeping all of these pitchers open. So that they look like they're getting enough water. Some of them aren't, but some of them are kind of in the process of dying, and then some of them are in the process of just starting to open. So that's a brand new one. But you can see the ones that are kind of the older, healthier ones, most of those, the pitchers are open, and that's sort of your indicator to make sure that the plant is getting enough water and is healthy. So, and you can see how this one over here, these ones are all newer growth. None of these are the older growth, so these are all open right now, the ones that are supposed to be. So you can see this one's getting plenty of water. So. But yeah, so that's my growing conditions. They probably get, I don't know, 7-8 hours maybe tops of sunlight a day. And then we just get the water that we just talked about, and that's all through a windowsill, guys. I do move this to 2 different rooms, so that's a little bit of a pain, but it's always kind of midday on my lunch that I move it from one room to the next to make sure that they get a little bit of extra sun in terms of windowsills. I have one north-facing windowsill and then one south-facing, so you can kind of see how it kind of gets split up throughout the day. But again, guys, I hope you really like these. Make sure, go out and get one of these plants if you really want to grow an interesting, fun plant. Hopefully, they will grow for you the way that they have grown for me on a windowsill. Obviously, I can never promise how they're going to grow based on everybody's conditions, the humidity in the air, the dryness, all that stuff is all really big factors in how these grow. But man, these have really grown on a windowsill really nicely, and that's kind of a nice treat for me, because usually carnivorous plants require a little more upkeep than just throwing them on a windowsill and watering them. So, but again, guys, thanks so much for supporting. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video. I'll try to keep giving you guys updates on these, and we are definitely going to do a big update when I repot this one over here. This one doesn't look like it's going to need to be repotted probably at the same time maybe, but I don't think I will. But this one definitely is a mess and it needs to be repotted. It looks like I'm probably going to get maybe 4 or 5 plants out of this one, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support, and I really hope to catch you on the next video. Bye.